Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Canada performs very well in food safety. It's one of the top countries in the world.
Work in progress. Canada's food game is growing, but there's room to improve.
Today we're going to serve our 500,000th meal.
500,000 and counting. A Cape Breton organization feeds the need.
And it's going to be a cloudy, damp, and cool night for the Maritimes with more gray sky for Friday.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Menopause. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, food for thought. On World Food Day, a new study suggests Canada has made gains on the global level when it comes to our competitiveness in the agri-food sector. The study considers everything from how we grow our food to how we get it on the table. This year, Canada cracked the top 10, but as CTV's Stephanie Seekos reports, there's still work to be done. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Maria. While Canada is doing well in some regards, there are other places where we're falling behind. The report shows progress will depend on removing barriers and helping those who shape the country's future in food. It's busier than ever at the North Grove.
We thought the pandemic was going to be hard for people when it came to food insecurity, and it definitely was. But after the pandemic, it's been unbelievable.
The nonprofit has seen firsthand how big of an issue food insecurity is for those in the Dartmouth area.
All of our meals have more people in them. We have more people coming to the door looking for emergency food supplies. The emergency food supplies that we used to give out was a very small portion of what we do. That has increased by hundreds of percents.
That remains a big issue nationally, with 1 in 5 Canadians experiencing moderate to severe food insecurity despite the country's agricultural capacity. Still, Canada climbed a few spots in the global agri-food most influential nations ranking, a report put together by Dalhousie's Agri-Food Analytics Lab and MNP looking at G20 nations.
So every year, basically, we look at how nations influence global food supply chains, essentially.
The rankings are based on 6 key performance pillars: innovation, food security, retail and fiscal regime, trade, sectoral competitiveness, and sustainability. In first, the European Union, followed by Germany, Italy, and then the United States in 4th. Canada was ranked 7th. However, it was in the 11th spot last year, though there are still areas to improve.
Amongst the G20, Canada has the most consolidated grocery industry, and that's really not helping companies trying to reach the market with new products, with new innovative products. The market is controlled by 5 major players.
Tackling food insecurity in Canada will take time and resources.
It's hard for nonprofits like us to keep up, frankly, with the demand, and we're definitely doing our very best to do that, but the need that we're seeing is incredible.
Sylvain Charlebois noted there are some areas Canada is doing quite well. In particular, he says Canada is one of the top countries in the world when it comes to food safety. Maria.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me, but that's very good news to hear indeed. Thank you. That is Stephanie Seekos for us in the news center this evening. And now it's time to head over to the anchor desk where Jesse Thomas is standing in for Todd Battis this evening and a look at the day's headlines. Hi there, Jesse.
Hi, Maria. Thanks so much. TD Bank is closing its call center located inside the Champlain Place Mall in Dieppe. It'll close in the spring of 2026. The company says they can't say how many people will lose their jobs as they're trying to relocate some of those employees. We'll have more on that story at 6 o'clock. And have you ever wondered how a community knows how many people are homeless at any given time? Well, it's done by a head count, and last night CTV's Emma Comby tagged along with volunteers as they spread out across Halifax to get a sense of the numbers and the situations for those living outside. More on that story tonight at 6. Emma has a feature report on how that count went and why it's important. And it's called the silent killer, and more Maritimers are becoming aware of the dangers of radon gas, so much so a program in New Brunswick offering radon testing kits at libraries to test at your home is becoming more popular. Tonight at 6, we'll have more on that program and why experts say the awareness is crucial. And for now, we'll go over to Kaylin Mitchell, our meteorologist is in the Weather Center. We got to wonder, is this rain making any difference, Kaylin, and will it stick around?
Yeah, in most cases, it's not enough. I mean, we had some showery weather for today. There's a few select spots in the Maritimes for over the past 24 hours. It's added up to some totals of 10 millimeters or a little bit more. But most locations have seen much lower rainfall amounts ranging from around trace to a couple of millimeters. Temperatures held a little bit cooler because of the cloudy and in some cases showery conditions. Currently, as we're moving into the first part of this evening, mostly between 7 and 11 for New Brunswick, though 13 at Moncton, around the low teens for Prince Edward Island, and also a range of 11 to 14 degrees for Nova Scotia. Winds remain out of the north and northeast, pretty steady, being sustained between 10 and 30 kilometers per hour. We're getting a few gusts still reported between 30 and 40 kilometers per hour. The wind gusts diminish a bit moving towards midnight, but the winds themselves will remain steady out of that north and northeast direction, and that's not only true for tonight, but also in the forecast for tomorrow. Taking a look at things on radar and satellite. So through the grays, that's all that cloud cover that's around the Maritimes, and then those broken areas of greens and yellows are the areas of showers moving through. Now, over the next couple of hours, the showers are going to be most widespread, most persistent towards the southwestern corner of New Brunswick and parts of the west of Nova Scotia, including Halifax County and extending down the South Shore. I'll have an update on that, though, and Friday's weather when I come back a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you so much, Kaylin. Right now, though, the charity Fun Sports aims to remove financial barriers so every child has a chance to play. As CTV's Paul DeWitt shows us, the charity just launched a new campaign to get more kids in the game. Take a look.
Keep it in, keep it in. Hi, my name is Dave Green. I'm the founder of Fun Sport. And what Fun Sports is a multi-sport program that we bring into kids in public housing. You know, we like to bring the sports right into the community. Of course, there's some barriers in the community for kids to get to places for location or finances. So we see the need for that. And ultimately what we've done is, me and my team of coaches, is we bring the sports right to the kids. Well, today, actually, we are launching our first national fundraiser. It's called Give Five for High Fives. So simply what we're asking people to do is go onto our webpage, funsports.fun, click on the donation button, and it takes you to Canada Help site, which is part of CRA. And we're encouraging people to just donate $5 a month. Right? So again, that's where the Give Five, High Five comes in. 1 in 3 families right now in Canada cannot afford organized sport, which is frankly insane. In my generation, everybody could almost afford to play. So there's a need for kids to play sports. We know that sports builds a lot of character, good for communication skills, et cetera, et cetera.
I've always loved working with kids, but especially the kids at Fun Sports, it's quite special because you can really form connections with them very easily. It doesn't take much, just a bit of your time, and it makes such a big difference. And seeing them open up and just benefit from sport the way I did as a kid is just really heartwarming.
You know, you can, the introductions earlier, they listen, they want to have fun, and you get to know them, you get to know the personalities, and you know, the coach is not a parent, it's not a teacher, it's someone they have fun with. So I find they often respect the coaches a whole lot too.
Thanks for sharing, you guys, and good luck with the campaign. All right, we're going to take a break here on CTV News at 5. When we come back, though, Canadian menopause expert Dr. Ardell Piper joins us in studio. She's in town for the first ever and the sold-out Atlantic Menopause show. We'll get the conversation started when CTV News at 5 returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. Our next guest has spent her career challenging outdated ideas about women's health. Dr. Ardell Piper is in Halifax for the first ever and sold-out Atlantic Menopause show featuring leading experts in the field addressing this significant life stage. I'm so grateful to welcome Dr. Piper to CTV News this evening. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
What an exciting occasion to be here. The first ever menopause show in Atlantic Canada, and it is sold out. Why do you think there's such a huge appetite for this topic?
It's the right time.
Yeah.
You know, it's the right time for us to be acknowledging that the science has changed, that there is so much more support for people at this age that the therapies that we thought were dangerous are actually really useful and not dangerous for most people. And I think we're also all a much more honest generation. I think we're willing to talk about it rather than hide it. And so we want to talk about it with our friends in our workplaces. We want solutions. We want to live our best life at midlife.
It's empowering. I remember when I was younger, we talked about this in the commercial break. It was referred to as the change. Right? And it was kind of hush-hush. You didn't really know a whole lot what, you know, the older women in your life were talking about when they said the change. But you also talked about how important it is to kind of change the narrative. Menopause is not a bad thing.
It isn't a bad thing. And I think some of the narrative that has been difficult is that menopause does mean that we are getting older, right? And for a lot of women, I think that that realization is something that we've been so trained to try to deny. And so I think it's really encouraging that now we can actually be proud of our age and our experience and not see it as something that we have to be ashamed of, and instead say, yeah, I am menopausal, you know, and I'm going to have solutions, and I'm here, and I'm better at my job than I've ever been before, managing things with my kids, with my partner, with my parents. There's a lot on the plate of midlife women, and so we need to have health and wellness and to be able to fulfill our roles.
It feels like in a lot of ways it's empowering to just admit it and embrace it and then move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to talk about your keynote address this evening. It is called Truths and Dares. What do you mean by that? Menopause 101.
Well, there's so many myths out there that the truth is that myth busting has almost become impossible. It's a game of whack-a-mole. Right? Who knows what myth is going to come up this week? And so I thought instead we should focus on the things that we do know to be true. Those things are changing as well, because as we know, we've needed more research in the area of women's health. We need more observations. We need more actual studies. But there are things that we do know. And if we can get the message out both to healthcare providers and to people experiencing menopause, what we do know to be true and what can be helpful, we've made so much progress there already. So I hope that people are empowered by truths, and that they also feel dared to maybe take some risks, or to think about things differently, or to look at other areas in their life where they can also make changes, and that will really be beneficial for their long-term health as well.
When you look at social media, there is a plethora of information on everything and anything. Some of it good, some of it bad. What are your thoughts on social media and taking advice from social media?
It's really difficult. I get why it has become popular, because people are looking for a place to find information when they're not getting it from their healthcare provider. And there are some people who are trying to put out good evidence-based information, but they are often being drowned out by other messages that are maybe more flashy or more exaggerated, or more emotional. And so it's really important for us to be selective when it comes to which accounts and which information we are getting on social media. There is good information out there, but all of the accounts that are telling you the wrong things, you actually have to intentionally not follow and block them.
Check your sources.
Yes, focus on the people who are trying to get the right stuff out.
So some of the symptoms, you know, brain fog, bone loss,
hot flushes, night sweats,
all those things, right?
All of it.
Should we accept those? If you're living with this, is this something that is just part of the stage of menopause?
No. It's just like so many things about women's health aren't things that we should accept. We shouldn't accept horrible, heavy bleeding that leads us to being fatigued and not being able to make it to work and iron deficient. We shouldn't accept horrible pain that can be endometriosis. There are so many things about women's health that we shouldn't be accepting at any age group. And when it comes to menopause, no. We have so many treatments for hot flushes and night sweats. We have so many treatments, and it's so easy to improve people's symptoms of genital urinary syndrome of menopause, which is the dryness and the pain and all of the different symptoms that come along with the tissues that become thinner of your vagina and your vulva. We have treatments for all of this. And so, no, women shouldn't accept less than feeling better and getting treated.
There's so many women who are kicking themselves they didn't get tickets to go to the Atlantic Menopause Show that starts tomorrow morning at 8:30, but you'll be back, I hope.
Oh, I hope so too.
I hope so too. And for all of those who are lucky enough to go, you're going to get a beautiful keynote address and so many other leading experts in the field. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Piper.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Here's Kaylin.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. So a bit of a cloudier day for the Maritimes. Certainly some areas of some wet weather, mostly in the form of some showers. A couple spots, though, wasn't too bad. Let's take a look at the locks at Fall River, Nova Scotia. Yeah, wasn't a bad time. Take the dog out for a walk. Look, he's got his sweater, his fall sweater on. All more in the forecast coming up after the break.
Welcome back to CTV News at 5. Kaylin Mitchell joins us once again. And Kaylin, gray skies today and not complaining.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that sort of typical mid-October dreary weather that's around the Maritimes. A big influence right now of air coming in off the North Atlantic in that northerly wind, but we're very grateful for any moisture we can get. Taking a look at our sunrise and sunset times, we're headed out towards the Squiduk River near Shediac in New Brunswick, where you can see that cloud cover in the background. Moncton was one of the spots that reported over the last 24 hours some rainfall totals over 10 millimeters, so that was more the exception than the rule when it came to with the showery conditions. A lot of other locations, rainfall amounts may be up to around a few millimeters, so there is still a little bit more to come as we move through the night. Now, barometric pressure is still tilted a little bit towards the lower side. We are under the influence of this trough of low pressure hanging back from this larger weather system, which is holding to the south and east of the region. Over on radar, you can see some of the wet weather that's still present, and as we make our way through the first part of this evening, the showers are going to be most widespread, most persistent in southwestern areas of New Brunswick, as well as western areas of Nova Scotia. We can see some bands of showers developing here and rolling back into the province off of the Atlantic, one of those coming in through the Halifax area right now, and then those will continue down the South Shore as we move through this evening, down towards communities such as Lunenburg, for example, and even Liverpool and Shelburne. Taking a look at our forecast timeline for cloud cover and precipitation again. For the most part, that's where the bulk of the shower activity will be in the Maritimes as we move through tonight. Southwest of New Brunswick, western Nova Scotia, but other parts of the region will remain cloudy and could see some patchy drizzle and fog. In the forecast for tomorrow, as we remain in a north and northeast wind, it's more cloud cover, mostly cloudy day for the region, and some patchy drizzle expected, with the drizzle most widespread around Moncton, the southeast of New Brunswick, the north shore of Prince Edward Island, the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, and parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. And that drizzle for those areas could be off and on throughout the day for tomorrow and even hold on into Friday evening and Friday night. So a little bit more dampness there in the forecast. Taking a look at the rainfall outlook, what we can expect from additional rainfall amounts as we move through tonight and into the start of the day for tomorrow. Pretty low. In a lot of cases, it'll be maybe up to around another 2 to 5 millimeters. I would say 2 to 5 millimeters in the southwest of New Brunswick, and then again for western areas of Nova Scotia. Hopefully that means that another couple of spots will join that 10+ millimeter club over the next 12 hours. Taking a look at winds in the forecast, they'll be out of the north and northeast for tomorrow. Like today, pretty steady, sustained 10 to 30 kilometers per hour. There'll be some gusts between 20 and 40 for New Brunswick, for Prince Edward Island, for eastern areas of Nova Scotia. A little bit more blustery on the coastline of the southwest of Nova Scotia. Some of the peak wind gusts could come up close to 50. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight will be falling into a range of 5 to 10 degrees for the region. And in the forecast for tomorrow, with that North Atlantic air in place, the cloudy conditions, the drizzle, be a little bit of a cooler day with most of the high temperatures topping out between 10 and 14 degrees. So a few communities on the south shore of Nova Scotia could get up to around 15. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from Kaisna, and they have sent us a drawing of a rainbow coming out behind a shower. Thank you. It's a fantastic drawing. And if you'd like to be one of our weather watchers, they can always come into CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. Time for another break here, but before we go, here's a preview of our next story featuring a special milestone.
I'm Ryan McDonald in Reserve Mines, Nova Scotia, where a food delivery program here in the community put on by volunteers is reaching a major milestone today of 500,000 meals served. That story is coming up.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
We're giving away $20,000 every week with Move's Dream Big, plus a daily bonus prize of $1,000.
Listen for your keywords weekdays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to win.
Welcome back. A volunteer-driven program in Cape Breton that has been delivering meals to people in need for years now has today hit a major milestone. As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, they have 500,000 reasons to celebrate.
If many hands make light work, that might help explain how the team at the Reserve Mines Seniors and Pensioners Club has gotten enough meals out the door to hit a big milestone.
Today we're going to serve our 500,000th meal.
Since 2017, hot meals have been dished up, then sealed, bagged, and finally delivered to seniors in the local area at least a couple of times per month.
It makes us feel good knowing that the seniors are getting a nice hot meal, and it might be the only meal that they get that week or that day or whatever. Since COVID, of course, we've been double and triple and quad the amount of people that are needing support to these days.
I'm very proud of it, really, helping the community and helping each other here, and so we're like one big family.
Of the 42 volunteers that make all of this happen, Brenda Bryden, organizer Mel Bryden's wife, is one of two who has been there since the very beginning.
Well, to help your neighbor. I mean, that's what it's all about, to help each other through tough times.
500,000 meals is a major milestone, but whether they'll make it to a full million meals served years from now, it appears that may be up in the air.
No question about it. Our days will definitely be numbered if we don't get any further support.
Mel Bryden says what they need is more funding and new people to get involved to help replace some of their aging volunteer base.
It's kind of a worry for us, big time, with the fact that we've been providing this service so long.
Still, today was about focusing on their big accomplishment and how many people they've been able to help.
More than anything, I just want to say thank you to all those people that supported us over the years and that will maybe continue to support us.
500,000 reasons to celebrate now and hope to continue providing this service for some time to come. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Reserve Mines, Nova Scotia.
Congratulations. What an epic milestone, and how wonderful that you are doing this for people, and how valiant that you continue to do it despite of, like, in spite of all of the challenges that we face in this world. So
I know, Maria, you like to highlight the volunteers, certainly here on CTV News at 5, but just a big thank you to all of the volunteers for all the organizations around the Maritime region. Where would we be without them?
Where would we be? You're making a difference for sure. All right, let's talk a little bit about how things are shaping up out there. Are they going to have good delivering weather?
It's kind of cool and damp right now, and those type of weather conditions are going to be persisting into Friday. However, there will be some changes for the weekend ahead. Sun starts to break through a little bit more, and I'll talk more about that at 6.
We'll see you at 6. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Thanks for watching.